Hi, class. This week we're going to discuss strategic writing in advertising. Last week, or a couple weeks ago, we looked at actually writing, so radio, TV, print, web. This week we're going to discuss the planning process. But first, let's talk a little bit about advertising. Advertising consists of persuasive messages that identified sponsors send to targeted consumers through controlled media. Very academic definition there. So, advertising is a persuasive message designed to inspire the recipient of that message to do something. So, we want them to vote, to buy something, or to donate. And the identified sponsor means a business or organization. It's not hidden, although that gets fuzzy sometimes in political advertising. You don't know who funded it. And controlled media just means a specific TV station, magazine, or website. You control when it runs, where it runs, what it says, and how often it runs. In PR, you give up control, but you might gain more credibility because it's a third person or a third subject, the newspaper or the TV station or the magazine that's doing a story about you. So remember that Frontline episode we watched at the beginning of the year, the Persuaders, and they talked about cutting through the clutter, and that is the challenge. Thousands of advertising messages a day, a lot more when you consider Facebook, Twitter, anything online. I keep getting ads for men's shoes, and I must have said something about shoes during one of my status updates on Facebook. I also get a lot of stuff for fitness and then graduate programs in communication. They don't realize I already have my graduate degree. Unless you have billions of dollars or a super PAC, you cannot just shotgun blast in every medium to every audience. So you have to do research to determine who your stakeholders are and what media they consume, plus who your competition is. It's got to be creative to cut through the clutter. And one clear strategic message. Strategic means goal oriented. Can't say it enough. You can get distracted in your ad if it doesn't have one clear message that is aligned with your goal. So don't waste your money. And to get to that one clear message, you put together a strategic message planner, or it can be called a copy platform, creative work plan, creative brief, or strategy statement. And we'll get more on that later. So David Ogilvy said, advertising which promises no benefit to the consumer does not sell, yet the majority of campaigns contain no promise whatsoever. So there's an example of an Infinity commercial that just really doesn't even show the car, but it's just awful advertising. It's beautiful, but it's awful, and that it has no value communicated to the consumer. So the benefit are product features that appeal to, that do something for consumers. Remember, we answer the question with them, what's in it for me? Always have to answer that question in advertising. Then you develop a brand. The brand is a consumer's image of a product, from a Taurus to all Ford cars to all Ford vehicles. You can have an image of that brand first on race day or found on the road dead. Those are Ford, right? Brands are built from product benefits. My boss at Drury and I once talked to a guy at Cal Berkeley who once because we wanted to learn more about branding at university. Most people would say, especially faculty members at university, that a university doesn't have a brand, but a brand is really just what you stand for. It's different from image advertising, also known as identity advertising or reminder advertising. Coke doesn't really need to build its brand, but it does need to remind you of Coke to get you to buy. Same with McDonald's. I mean, Nike does a really good job with image advertising. Just do it. The image of Nike is fitness. It is professional athletes, people know about Nike. You've known about it for decades, but they still do that image advertising. So this is a writing class, and you'll get into strategy in your campaigns class, but you should know how to create a strategic message planner. It's supposed to help figure out the one message you want to get across in an ad. Audience is not stakeholders. It is the creative crew and maybe the client. That's what I mean. The audience for the creative message planner is the creative crew and possibly the client. And you would put it on paper or an online PDF. That would be the medium you would have for your strategic message planner. So keys to success, everybody wants to make the fun ad, but you're wasting your time if you don't have a strategic message planner first. And format, you can see that in the book, but you want to make it clear to everyone who's reading it. have the headings, single space, headlines, subheadlines, slug, and page numbers at the top of pages past page 1. So this shouldn't be stream of consciousness, but it should be details and specific, 10 areas to focus on. Advertising goal, how the ad will create sales or votes. Key facts about the client. Key features about the product. Get to know the demographics and psychographics of your target audience. What are the product benefits? Who are you competing against and what are their brand images? Indirect competitors and what are their brand images? What is your brand image currently and what do you desire and what is the challenge to get there? And what is your promise? And then the supporting evidence or the proof. So advertising goal, what do you want the audience to do? It should be one sentence. How is the ad going to create sales or votes? So like at Drury, the advertising goal would be to get prospective students to enroll in classes at Drury. Or for body mechanics, it should be to get prospective clients to train with Diane for their fitness goals. So get into the client's ethos and appeal based on the speaker's character or reputation. Ben & Jerry's has a great ethos. Organic, treats its cows well, gives back. Ben & Jerry's has good ice cream and you can feel good about buying it. Consumers say that a company's reputation can influence purchase decisions. Rolex and Toyota recovered from that acceleration issue several years ago because of its ethos. Key features of the product. What's your category? Amusement or education? How are you different? What can you see, hear, taste, and feel? What does the product do? Any unintended uses? Propecia was a prostate drug, and then makers discovered it could grow hair. What's it made of? What are the ingredients of your product? Who is the audience for this ad? Not the entire product. Think of Drury, traditional students, adults like you three, graduate students, online students. What are their demographics and how do they think? And what are the benefits of the product? A benefit is a product feature that appeals to the ad's target audience. Is it cool? Does it relieve back pain? And traditional benefits, need for control in your life, need for companionship, beauty products, need for confidence, beauty products, and say hair loss products. And what are the direct competitors and brand images? For Drury, that would be Missouri State, William Jewell, Rockhurst, Mizzou, Arkansas, Hendrix, even Ozarks Technical Community College. Name them specifically, but be brief. So when you name those competitors, be brief. Indirect competitors would be, for example, for Drury, would be University of Phoenix, say OTC, Western Governors University, same thing. And then what's the target audience's current impression of the product? What do you want it to be? And what are the challenges of making that happen? So you just want to know what is the desired brand image and how is that challenging? And maybe there's current impressions. Maybe they don't have a current impression because it's not well known. So you get to the most important part, the promise, the theme of the ad. So basically, you should be able to say, target audience, you should buy this product because blank. Target audience, you promise that this product will blank. This should be based on the previous 8 sections, but keep it brief. So the proof. So in the case of Drury, Drury's proof is that 99% of day school graduates are employed or in graduate school within 6 months of graduation. These are selling points, information that supports the message of the promise. Once saw an ad for running socks that were more padded. Guy in a triathlon had forgotten his shoes, ran the marathon part of the try only in his socks. That's a pretty good promise and proof. So always do this before you begin to create an ad. You don't have time to do original research for Diane's strategic message planner, but you can do some anecdotal research, maybe some secondary research about people who are searching for fitness training, especially personal or small group training. Look at one target audience, say for Drury, high school students ages 14 to 18, adults, make it 18 to 34 or 25 to 54. In the case of Diane, you may realize it's mostly females, 18 to 49, but you can ask her those questions. So that's a strategic message planner. Let's create one for Diane and create that strategic message planner for Body Mechanics Athletics. Thank you for listening.